The Major League Baseball winter meetings get kicked off today in Dallas, Texas. The first piece of business on the agenda, the Hall of Fame. The Veterans Era Committee, I think it's called that, like 15 people, baseball executives, some people in the media, and Paul Molitor, Eddie Murray, Tony Perez, Lee Smith, Ozzie Smith, and Joe Torre get to vote on 8 people. The 8 candidates are Dick Allen, Ken Boyer, John Donaldson, Steve Garvey, Vic Harris, Tommy John, Dave Parker, and Louis Tiant. Now listen, a couple of these guys fit right into my wheelhouse. They're right before I was old enough to really watch a lot of baseball. Let's be real. Dick Allen and Ken Boyer, I never saw play, all right? They were the era right before me. John Donaldson and Vic Harris, I never saw play. Negro Leagues, superstars. I know a lot about John Donaldson from MLB The Show. Don't think I ever heard of him before that. Certainly have never heard of Vic Davis. I don't have a strong opinion there because I didn't see him play. I don't think I would vote for Allen or Boyer because I never thought of them as Hall of Famers, just from what people were telling us when I was a young boy in the 70s and an older boy in the 80s and the 90s, and then growing up as an adult, a baseball fan. Ken Boyer and Dick Allen, clearly great players. I don't think they get there for me, but again, I'm not old enough, and the Negro League players were way before me. I don't have a strong opinion. Louis Tiant, Dave Parker, Tommy John, and Steve Garvey all barely preceded me, and I was fans of them. Let's be real. Steve Garvey is my first favorite baseball player ever. I love Steve Garvey. We're going to talk about him a lot. Tommy John's career went past where I started watching baseball, as did Dave Parker and Louis Tiant. To say I saw all 4 of them in the middle and the back half of their careers. Start with Louis Tiant. I think he probably should be a Hall of Famer. Not 100% sure on that. He would be my 4th of 4 that I voted for, although I think I would vote for 3. Tommy John, 100% would be in the Hall of Fame. Okay, you know him for the elbow surgery. This guy won a lot of games, pre and post surgery. He was a great pitcher for a long time, including those 1970s Dodgers that we're going to talk about a lot here when I talk about Steve Garvey. But he had a long career before and after that. He was a White Sox, he was a Yankee. This guy had a great career, almost won 300 games, known for the surgery, like I said, but I think this guy deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I see how you could argue Tiant and John. I think they're both probably Hall of Famers in my world. I think I would vote for John and not Tiant, but I don't know why I think that. I think that it just was how I felt about them then, and that might be my fandom. I was a Dodgers fan as a kid. Tiant probably deserves it. So the more I think about it, I'd probably vote for all 4 of these. These next 2, I don't understand the arguments against. The Cobra, Dave Parker, should be a Hall of Famer. When I was a little boy, my first pack of baseball cards I ever opened up was 1977, okay? So I was a 7-year-old in 77. This guy was a stud. He had a great arm. He had a great bat for average. He had a great bat for power. He was clutch. He was one of the most feared hitters in the National League for quite some time. I don't know how he's not a Hall of Famer already. He should be in the Hall. And the guy of these 8 who had the most votes, got closest to the Hall of Fame the first time around, Steve Garvey. He only got up to 42.6, and that's the highest among these 8. I find that shocking. I don't know how Steve Garvey is not a Hall of Famer. So I've already told you I'm biased. This was my first favorite baseball player. He's probably my all-time, no, he's not. He's my favorite all-time baseball player. He's a Hall of Famer in my book and has been for, well, my whole adult life. I don't get a vote, but if I did, he would be my vote. If I can only vote for one of these guys, it would be him. And I think, well, I've already told you 3 or 4 should probably get in my opinion. And that's with me not having a strong opinion on the other 4 because I just didn't see him play. And I think of myself as a small Hall guy. Now, I get Steve Garvey doesn't score up real high on the WAR on first base. Let me tell you why he should be a Hall of Famer in my never so humble opinion. He led the Dodgers to the World Series in 74, 77, 78, and 81. He helped take the Padres to the World Series in 1984. He's a 10-time All-Star. He's a World Series champion. He won it in 1981 with the Dodgers. 4-time Gold Glove winner, and he would have won a lot more except for he played in the era of Keith Hernandez. I think Hernandez was a rookie, I don't know, 77, 78, 76 maybe. I think his rookie card was in 76. Regardless, Keith Hernandez came in as Garvey was there, and Garvey was the guy who was winning the Gold Gloves, 4 of them, and then Keith Hernandez, arguably the best defensive first baseman ever, jumped in there, or Garvey would have won more. Garvey is a 2-time NLCS MVP. Garvey won the National League MVP in 1974. He's one of only 2 players ever to start an All-Star game as a write-in by the fans. He did that in 1974. He played 1,207 consecutive games. He was the Iron Man of the National League. He was the Iron Man that was chasing Lou Gehrig, basically, before we got Cal Ripken. He was 3rd all-time in consecutive games when he retired. Now, of course, with Cal Ripken, he's 4th. And he was one of the most fan-friendly ball players ever. He was always signing autographs. He was always talking to fans. I love Steve Garvey, the ball player. Now, I think he gets hurt, frankly. He ran against Adam Schiff in California for something. Whatever Adam Schiff was, I don't know what I'm talking about. I think senator. Yes, I'm pretty sure he ran for senator. I might be wrong on that. Regardless, I think that hurts his chances because if you're very politically minded and you're not on his side, I guess you have to be on Adam Schiff's side to not be on. I don't know. I don't want to get too much into the politics, but I think that probably hurts his candidacy, and I think that's a shame. To me, Steve Garvey is a Hall of Famer. Now, I'm not saying if he doesn't get in, it's political. Well, it might be. I don't know. I do think the Kurt Schilling thing is political. That's another video, more commentary and more content for another video. Steve Garvey's a Hall of Famer. I say so. I know there's going to be pushback on this. This is probably his last chance or one of his last chances. I mean, these guys are not young anymore. Tommy John's older than, I think of the ones that are living, we just lost Tiant, but Parker's alive. Tommy John, I think, is in his 80s. Steve Garvey is in his 70s. Dave Parker's in failing health. So I think those are the only 3 that are alive of these 8. So, bluntly, I care about those 3 the most. I mean, I think Louis Tiant should be in there. The more I think about it, I think that's something that we should be talking about. But Tiant, Tommy John, Dave Parker, and 100% Steve Garvey should be Hall of Famers. It happens today in Dallas. Paul Molitor, Eddie Murray, Tony Perez, Lee Smith, Ozzie Smith, Joe Torre, some members of the media, some members of baseball executives. Please, 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 please. Let's get those 4 in. And especially Steve Garvey. I want Steve Garvey in the Hall of Fame so bad. Let me know what you think. Give me your comments. Of these 8, who would you vote for? Why do you disagree with me about Garvey or any of them? I want to hear what you think. I really want Steve Garvey to get in there. I will be a little sad if he doesn't make it. I don't expect him to make it, but I will be ecstatic if Garvey makes it. I will feel like a little piece of me is going in the Hall of Fame. What say you? Who do you think it should be in the Hall of Fame that's not? What do you think about these candidates, especially Steve Garvey? I want to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Have the best day ever. I love the baseball winter meetings. Please, Texas Rangers, come home with a bullpen and put Steve Garvey in the Hall of Fame. Thanks for watching. Have the best day ever. Go Rangers. Good luck, Steve Garvey. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And if you're a voter, please put Steve Garvey in the Hall of Fame.